Romans chapter 10, verse 14 to 15. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach unless they are sent? Today, has sent a preacher in the person of Evangelist Rodney Brown, your humble servant for Christ's sake. And now, Evangelist Rodney Brown.
How to make yourself attractive. I really have to sit down for this one. And I try not to call any names this time around. How to make yourself attractive. Let us allow God to make us the most genuinely attractive version of ourselves. Many of us have been developing spiritual, physical, mental, and social characteristics that are general turn-offs to the complementary sex. Although I know and I acknowledge that people are attracted by different types of attributes and in various ways, I would at this time want to pause to caution you not to use what I'm about to say as a way of masking yourself, but rather allow God to genuinely help you to develop your full potential as a friendly, good-natured, easy to talk to person. Some people are very attractive, but they lack character. Others have character, which is good, but they're not attractive. Our aim today is to have both. You see, living creatures were made with the inherent desire to reproduce. By God's design, most creatures need a partner to do so. He created them male and female. Man, though, does not have the feathers of a peacock nor the bright colors of some primates. So sometimes attracting a partner could be a little challenging for mankind. Here are some tips to enhance your character and make yourself attractive. Let's start with the Word of God. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. We are going to learn how to attract a good thing and be an attractive good thing in 4 categories: socially, spiritually, physically, and mentally. Let's start with socially, and let's run this very quickly. When you are now meeting someone, you'd want to introduce yourself using eye contact and a smile. Use also a proper handshake if it's appropriate. Web to web, and not too tight, but a firm handshake. Not too soft, like if you really didn't want to touch the person, like if you're scorning them. And don't cling. When you're shaking people's hands, especially when you're meeting them for the first time, do not cling to their hands. Secondly, make an extra effort to remember people's names. The sweetest song to a person is their name. Thirdly, show others you're interested in them. Be careful of, while you're talking to them, be careful of that yawn. Be careful of the roving eyes. You seem to be interested in everything else while they're speaking. Be sensitive to the opinions as well. Also be sensitive to their opinions, especially if they differ from your opinion. Fourthly, display a sense of humor. People remember humor. It is said that they remember humor 6 times longer than a regular conversation. A merry heart does good like medicine. That's what the Word of God says in Proverbs 17:22. but a broken spirit dries bones. It's as though God is saying to us that the answer to stress is laughter. So yeah, relax yourself and use humor and laugh a little bit. Fifthly, be enthusiastic about life. Some people go around, with their heads down, their faces long, and they complain about everything. So if it's rainy, they complain. If the sun is shining, it's too hot. If they're in the snow, it's too cold. And in summertime, they complain about everything. That's not attractive. You need rather to be upbeat and positive and cheerful and complimentary. That's the kind of person, that's the kind of character that attracts people. Sixthly, use positive body language. And I'm going to use an acrostic to describe the positive body language that you should use. The word posture is what we're going to use. P-O-S-T-U-R-E. P-O-S-T-U-R-E. We're going to use that as an acrostic to describe the kind of body language or the kind of posture you should have when dealing with people. P, position. One of the best ways to show interest is to lean forward when others are communicating with you. If you are attentive and interested in them, they will in turn be interested in you. O, open posture. By keeping an open posture, that is, not crossing your legs or not folding your arms, you can appear to be more open-minded and less defensive, less arrogant, and more approachable. S in posture, smile. I said this before, but I'm going to go into it with a little more detail. So, smile. A simple smile shows that you really care. It also provides a sense of warmth and increases your likability. As the going says, a smile is the light in the window that tells people you are home. So smile. T, territory. And this is an important one, especially for some people. So that you don't want to intrude on people's territory. You don't want to cross the boundaries. In the Caribbean, about 2 to 3 feet around people, that's their territory. Don't get too close. Don't get closer than that generally, and don't get much further than that, because getting closer to that makes them uncomfortable and might distract them. Getting too far you might seem like if you're aloft and it's like you don't want to talk to them, or you're scorning them, or they're not good enough for you to come so close to them. So you'd want to be careful with regard to the issue of territory. U, an undivided attention. People appreciate when others listen attentively to what they have to say. Avoid being distracted by your electronic or other devices while they are communicating with you. It sends a signal that the communicator and what is being communicated are important. Once you pay attention to them, you come up and you just look at them, as we said before, they feel they're important. So make every effort to make everyone feel important by paying full attention. If you are directly communicating with a specific person or with a particular person, make them feel like they are the only one in the room with you. R, in posture, responding. So that while they are speaking, you want to respond. Even in non-verbal ways, you want to respond with a nod or, yes, I understand. You want to respond to them so that you would show attentiveness, you will show enthusiasm, and you will validate the speaker. That's important in being attractive. E, eye contact. One of the most important ways to establish trust and rapport is through eye contact. Although in some cultures, they may view eye contact differently. But for most of us, eye contact is something positive. So posture, position, open posture, smile, T, territory, U, undivided attention, R, responding, E, eye contact. So if you are going to be attractive, watch your position as you display an open posture. Smile while keeping outside of the person's territory, and give undivided attention as you respond with eye contact. 7. Listen. 7. Listen. 7. Listen. I can't stress that enough. Don't interrupt. Not only do we become more likable, but we really start to understand the person's wants, their needs, and their tolerations. So you need to listen. 8, or the 8th point. Speak concisely. Practice your laser phrases. Now, by that, I don't mean use one-worders to answer. Like, how was your day today? Good. So how do you feel about your job? It's nice. That's not what I mean. I mean, make a complete statement as concisely as possible, so that you want to ensure that people have a full answer, but don't go on talking for about an hour. Somebody asks you how you're going, and an hour later you're still telling them how you're going, especially if there are complaints inside there. That's not attractive. Tell people what you want them to know in a few short sentences. 9. Under promise and over deliver. You got that? Under promise but over deliver. Don't make a whole set of lofty promises that you would be at pains to keep. It's better that you under promise and over deliver than over promise and under deliver. In other words, give them more than they expect and ask their opinion. 10. Be sympathetic, empathetic, and encouraging. Give encouragement. Be understanding. Have sympathy. They are in their own world. They are doing their own thing. They have their own stuff going on. Understand that and be sympathetic. Be empathetic. Put yourself in their shoes sometimes, especially after asking them how they're going and they tell you how they're going. Put yourself in their place and give encouragement. As I said before, feel what others feel and uplift people. And that's it for the social aspect of it. I know it's not exhaustive, and maybe some of you have some other areas that we can make ourselves more socially attractive in. Spiritually, 1, a genuine connection with God is in a down-to-earth way. As I said, a genuine connection with God in a down-to-earth, practical way, gives others the confidence that you can be trusted. I'm not saying that the more spiritual you are, the more attractive you will be, because I think you can come across as over-spiritual to some people. You want to be down-to-earth with your spirituality. 2, involvement in ministry. That's involvement in the place that you worship. Doing those things signals your willingness to serve others. Thirdly, a demonstration of selflessly caring or a demonstration of selflessly caring for others generally can encourage others to feel comfortable when dealing with you. Fourthly, a peaceful, confident character which comes from your spirituality, which comes from God, because God gives peace. A peaceful, confident character can be a valued encouragement to others to be at peace, especially if there are things happening in their lives. Fifthly, temperance or emotional intelligence cause others to feel safe around you. They know that if they make a mistake, they will not pay a heavy price. They know you will not trip off and lose it. It also signals that they can rely on you to be the designated stable head at times. A solid standard, that's number 6, a solid standard of integrity or that quality of being honest and having a strong moral principle or having strong moral principles is definitely an attractive characteristic. 7th, loyalty. Loyalty that could only come from spirituality. That kind of loyalty is a characteristic of love. It says to people that I have your back. So those are the points under spirituality. We move to the third major area, physical. And if it is you have some kind of physical issue or you have had an accident or something, don't be too perturbed about this, because people can be attractive, as I said before, in different ways. But here goes. Fitness and stamina. Our primal instinct draws us to others who are fit and healthy. Because remember, our primal instinct says we want to reproduce. And that thing deep within us is saying further, and I want healthy offspring. The best way to get healthy offspring is to get together with a healthy person. So you see, fitness and stamina, it's naturally attractive. Secondly, neatness. And I know some of you would probably say, well, you know, neatness not in style. But I have been observing. And for many people, neatness in whatever style you present yourself in is attractive. Thirdly, a healthy look. I spoke about being healthy, but it's not enough to just be healthy, but you must also appear healthy, since people are generally attracted to a healthy look. And I'm talking about your teeth. Ensure that your teeth are not stained with, what stains your teeth? Your teeth? Tobacco? Make sure your teeth are not discolored. Make sure there's no plaque. Or your gums. Ensure that your gums are healthy, that people can't see bleeding gums when you're talking, gingivitis and periodontal disease and that kind of stuff. Those things are fixable. Yeah, you only need to go to the dentist and those things can be fixed. Your eyes, these things below your eyes are not attractive. So you want to get enough rest. Yeah, I could hear somebody saying, physician, heal yourself. But you want to ensure that you get enough rest. The color of your eyes are important too. So that you have either pink eyes all the time for whatever reason, or your eyes are yellow. There might be something you can take at a healthcare professional would prescribe that could fix that. But don't go and do your own thing or put anything in your eyes without good advice and say, Brother Brown tell you to do that, because that's not what I'm saying. Skin tone is important. And to me, there is nothing nicer than a smooth, consistent skin tone. Especially a nice, consistent, dark skin. Listen, man, that is very, very attractive. And in fact, whatever complexion you are, once it's not, blemishy or discolored and that kind of stuff, so you need to take care of your skin as well. that could be very, very attractive. Body mass as well is something that can be attractive. The ideal body mass can be attractive, and don't bother too much with the BMI scales and those things. I have a feeling designed for somewhere else and not for here. But the thing about it is, you can also, in fact, you could be outside of the ideal body mass and still come across as very healthy. By the way you operate, you can come across as very healthy. So those things contribute towards your attractiveness. Hygiene. This is an important one. Body odor. You'd want to ensure that you bathe. And when you bathe, use a rag to wash yourself. A rag with perhaps an antibacterial or antifungal soap. Use a rag properly. You would want to ensure that when you're bathing, if you maintain a body odor, that you perhaps use a lime. You could cut. Yeah, of course you have to cut the lime, and you rub it in the areas that that there is perspiration or that odor. Any area, your groin area, whatever. You want to do that so that it actually cuts it. And I know some people who would put it on as a deodorant for the day until that body odor is cut. That helps. Wash your clothes frequently. Wear socks, because whereas you could wash the socks, that your feet will sweat in. It's a little more, and you would not wash your shoe as frequently as you wash your socks. So wear socks. Concerning your breath, some people are really, they can't help it by their nature. There are things that is going on in their bodies. There are things that are going on in their bodies that would cause them to have that kind of mouth odor. So there are things you could use. So that, talking about mouth and the rest of it, use one of these frequently. And when you're using it, a dentist taught me this. If this is your teeth, this is your top teeth, you do like this and then you pull down. That's how you brush your teeth. That's what they taught me. And if it's your bottom teeth, like this, and you pull up. On the inside, same thing. That's how you brush your teeth. Sorry, I think I came out of the screen. You brush your teeth like that. You also floss. Floss is important because it gets rid of the food stuff that will be stuck between, and it also helps with the buildup of plaque. As I said, use probably something better than this. I understand toothpaste with baking soda and that kind of stuff could help. And if all that fails, perhaps don't. This is always something good that you can use as well. So that there are things you can do. Brush your teeth, take care of yourself. My wife is training me to use this on my feet. Yeah? So I guess you could do that too, to ensure that your feet looking like what it should look like. But those are important things to being attractive. Grooming is important. Groom your hair properly. Clip it's not attractive to be talking to someone and there's hair sticking out of your nostrils. It's not attractive, especially if that hair comes with some mucus. It's not attractive. Hair sticking out of your ears or along. Groom yourself properly. Clip those hairs in places that you probably wouldn't want them. Again, many people are not attracted at all to armpit hair. So that, you wear a tank top or a vest or something, or you go to the beach and, you have a whole forest growing out of your arms. You might want to look at that and clip it down or something to bring it within a manageable situation. Some people prefer to shave it clean. I have no problem with that. Although there is really a purpose for the hair there. So you want to look at your nails as well. Keep your nails well manicured, your hands well cream and so on. Again, it's another thing my wife is trying to get me into with some success. Again, I passed this already, but use some deodorant with regard to the body odor, and you might want to invest in some, what's this, Curve? So, I don't know, it's not too expensive. You can probably invest in some of that as well. So there you are with the grooming and the hygiene and that kind of stuff. So pay attention to your hygiene, pay attention to your rest, pay attention to your exercise program, pay attention to your diet regimen. Fourthly and finally, mentally. And this is a big one. Sometimes this is the first thing that attracts people. Knowledge and wisdom. General knowledge and evidence of being well read can get some attention. But be very careful, because nobody likes a know-it-all. That kind of stuff turns nobody on. That kind of stuff doesn't attract anybody. So you want to be careful not to be a know-it-all. The proper use of knowledge, which is wisdom, with grace and humility, really rocks. Organizing ability, that kind of thing normally gets a thumbs up in many people's books. So you have the ability to organize stuff, and leadership skills also. People generally love to be near the source of proper guidance. People like to be near the source of power as well. But it's attractive. It's attractive. And again, I'm reminding you, I'm not saying that you ought to go and mask yourself. You ought to be genuine with it and genuinely develop these things. The ability to command order, respect, and good conduct is another thing that you might want to develop if you want to be attractive. Note I didn't say demand, I said command. Because demand is forced and demand is a turn off. Command, however, is a response people would give to character. They will respond to character that commands respect and that kind of stuff. So you have learned how to be socially, spiritually, physically, and mentally attractive. Be careful not to use what I am teaching you here to give false expectations. It is easy for you to go out there so wanting to be liked, and that's not what I'm doing this for. That you go and give people false expectations. We want to guard against that. Look at the other video. Look at the video before this about false expectations and so on as well. These tips, as I said before, are not exhaustive. So please, if you have other tips about what attracts you to people, particularly of the complementary sex, write them in the comment section for me so that we could learn from each other. Let us allow God to make us the most genuinely attractive version of ourselves. I hope these things help you, and may God bless you for His name's sake. Amen.
Wherever you are, let's raise it together. Come on, say it. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see. Come on, if you want to see Him in the midst of the noise, in the midst of